Hey guys, how's it going? It's Billy here. This time coming at you with hopefully a short video. Grails in the mail. I've been waiting for these for quite some time, just shopping, having them in my want list. These are things you just typically don't stumble into a local record store, flea market, Goodwill, anything like that, and find these albums. So they've been on my eBay and Discogs want list or watch list for years. And not that they don't pop up, you know, on a regular basis or every day or every week. It's just the price that I wanted to get them at. You don't see them because these are pricey albums. Just wanted to go ahead and get that out of the way so you guys knew, because yeah, anybody can just jump online and hit a button and get what you want, but waiting for that right deal at the right time to come along, that's part of it. Yeah, it's always nice to be able to find these out in the wild, so to speak, but sometimes that just doesn't always happen. So jumping right along here, let's jump right in with Pantera, the Great Southern Trendkill. This is from 1996, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, 1996. This is a near mint, all around great, beautiful copy. Still in the shrink with the hype sticker attached, as you can see. This one, I love this album. Now, of course, I don't love it as much as you know, Cowboys or Vulgar Display of Power, but it's right up there with Far Beyond Driven and some of the other things. It's a very underrated Pantera album, if you want to go there, but a very hard to find album. Glad to finally have it added to the collection. Still need to find original pressings of Cowboys and Vulgar Display. I have an original, a real nice original of Far Beyond Driven, and what's the other one? Reinventing the Steel. And now I have this, so still need to get those first, well, and then, I shouldn't say first two, but the first two mainstream, Cowboys and Vulgar Display, because I do have original copies of the stuff before that on vinyl, but I still need those. And Brandon and I are working on maybe a possible trade, hopefully, aren't we, Brandon, on Cowboys? So there you go, Pantera, Great Southern Trendkill. That was a nice one to add to the collection. Speaking of Brandon, you know, Brandon actually was at the St. Louis record show with me, well, every time we go. So the last 4 or 5 times, probably, maybe half a dozen times. I think they had it yesterday, and I was up in Bloomington, so I wasn't able to make it. But I always ask, Brandon hears me always ask. So when I told him I finally got this one, Michael Jackson, Dangerous, 2 LP set, he was just about as stoked as I was, because he's like, man, I know you've been looking for that for a long time. This is all on the cover. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't know why. Maybe I had some. Oh, I was in here cleaning earlier, and so this it must stick to this cover. I never thought about the dust actually sticking to these jackets sleeves. But there you can see, nice clean VG plus or better copy all around of Michael Jackson's very hard to find Dangerous album. Of course, this has Jam, In the Closet, She Drives Me Wild, Remember the Time, Heal the World, Black or White, love that. Just a great album front to back. Very hard to find album. So glad to finally add that original pressing to the collection. And then last but not least, those of you that have followed my channel for any time at all, maybe last year, I think I did my my wish list records of the month. So what I would do is I made a list in January, and just stuck to those instead of buying a bunch of $5 and $6 records. I saved that money and decided to put it towards a nicer record, you know, a $50 or $60 or $70 record, a harder to find record. Those ones that we don't pull the trigger on that often. So last year I did that. I bought one of those a month if I was able to save enough to afford it. I think there may have been one month I wasn't able to do that, but I doubled up. The next month I just saved extra and was able to do that. Bought a couple cheaper albums. So this album was on that list, and it was one that I was not able to locate. It's just that hard to find, and it's pretty expensive. But I was able to finally pull the trigger on this one. I'll show it to you, and then I'll tell you the traumatic story behind it. So there you go. Meatloaf, Bat Outta Hell 2, Back Into Hell. This album was so huge right when I was graduating high school. So what are you thinking? I mean, I graduated in 92, so this was released in 92 or 93. Hell, I'm getting blind. I can't even see. Down here at the bottom it tells you, but 92 or 93. But you couldn't go anywhere without hearing, you know, I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. That song in particular, but this is loaded with great songs as well. And when I told Brandon, you know, Brandon knows I've been looking for this one. Brandon and I know I keep mentioning Brandon, but we talk all the time, and so he's probably sick and tired of hearing about my love for this album and my hunt for this album. So anyway, I found a near mint copy on Discogs that the guy had a make offer on. Made him a reasonable offer, and he accepted. Super nice guy. We talked back and forth before completing the transaction. Sent everything to me. Unfortunately, when I got it, the package was dog-eared. It was pretty bad. It made me sick to my stomach to think of even opening it. So there was a little bit of damage to the cover, unfortunately. You may not be able to see it. Yeah, there you can see it. This corner had a little bit of damage to it, and this corner had just the slightest bit of damage. But I mean, look at how sharp these corners are. It's such a hard to find record. I was so bummed, but you'll be able to see here, yeah, right there. That corner had some damage. So I messaged the guy. Problem was being overseas. You guys know the shipping is ridiculous. It's absurd. It costs about $14 to ship this here. It would have cost about $14 to ship it back. For the price that I had already paid for it, and then you factor in the shipping both ways, it really was, and it's being set, it's still in great shape, it still plays good, it's just got that little bit of a minor damage to it. And yes, I am that particular about my records, but it's not that bad, especially for a record that's so hard to find. You're not going to walk into a show or anything and just see this record. They're so hard to find here in the States. So he was very reasonable and open to working out some sort of an arrangement. So as it was, I already got a super deal on this record. And we ended up coming to an agreement of a 50% refund on this because, like I said, by the time I paid shipping, or he paid shipping back, there was no way he was going to make any money and be able to sell this, for the condition he was going to have to mark it down to be able to make any money selling it again. So it was in his best interest and mine as well to just give me a 50% refund on this, and I am extremely happy with that and extremely happy to have this in the collection. You guys understand, where I'm coming from on that. So there, I'm finally can mark this one off the checklist. So there's my 3 Grails in the mail: Pantera, Michael Jackson, Dangerous, and Meatloaf, Back Into Hell, Bat Outta Hell 2. So guys, thank you for always tuning in. Let me know what maybe some of your Grails are and what your thoughts are on those in the comments. And I hope to be seeing you here real soon. As always, take care, guys. Peace.